Hey Adventure, so today's going to be a book haul. This is one I don't yet have a adjective for because I have basically this is all the books I've gotten since my last book haul, and it's been a while, and I hadn't for a while there I hadn't collected very many, and so I wasn't worrying about it. I had like 3-4 books or something like that. The stack has grown. So yeah, I want to go through this and just mention them all real quickly, and we will hopefully get through this rather rapidly. I only got a couple for Christmas, and so I'm not really worried about that, but I got a couple or quite a few before Christmas, and so those ones we will for sure want to go through. Anyways, starting back whenever the last book haul was, since then I've got a couple books that I received from authors, and so I want to go through those ones. Some of them I bought for myself, but that's all right. Let's go through this. And if I've forgotten any books, I do apologize, but I don't think I've forgotten any books. So the first one that I received was More Than Legends by J.R. Carroll. This is, I've already read this one. I've already gone through this one. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed Carroll's More Than Human series and world and everything like that, and the stories contained therein. A lot of fun. I had a great interview with the author after I read this one, and so I'd recommend go watching my interview with the author because it was great. Another one that I just had an interview with the author for is Tori Tekken, and I received Cold Silver for Souls. I bought Cold Silver for Souls. I read this one already, and I had a lot of fun with it. Had a great interview with the author just recently, just like last week. Well, at the time of filming this, it was last week. It was the 29th of December. I'm filming this on the 2nd of December, so I don't know what, 2nd or the 3rd, I don't remember now. Whatever the case, great book. Had a lot of fun. Loved talking to the author, definitely recommend, but I did receive Cold Silver for Souls as well. Continuing through with just a couple more that I received directly from the authors, I have Proxima Station by Mike Mullman. He sent me this one out of the blue. I was not expecting it. I didn't know that he was writing this book, and it just showed up. I was like, oh, okay, I have another book to read. I'm hoping to get to this one pretty soon though, because it's nice and short, and I think I can get through it pretty quickly. So I definitely want to get to this one. I also received Isles of the Emberdark by Brandon Sanderson. This is his 5th secret project that he released. I bought this one for myself as well. I actually really liked this one. I liked a lot about it. I really liked Dusk's chapters. I didn't so much care for Starling's chapters, but Dusk is one of my favorite characters that I've read this year. So yeah, I enjoyed this one quite a bit. It did not contribute to my Sanderson burnout at all, so I was really pleased by that. And yeah, fun book, good book. Another one that I've already read and that was sent to me by the author is The Crimson Fire by Abel Montero. This is the first book of the Memories of Kinjir, and one of my favorite books of the month that I read it. It would have been my favorite book of the month had I not read 2 other awesome books that fit my taste just perfectly as well. And so I think it's probably tied for book of the month for that month, a 3-way tie, but it was an excellent book. Enjoyed this so much and had a ton of fun with this. But yeah, I did receive the Crimson Fire as well, and I'm very glad that I own this. I can't wait for book 2, the Sunrise Dagger, which comes out sometime this year. Making some good progress here, I received Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. This one my pastor actually gave to me. He's doing a youth group type thing, and part of that we were reading Mere Christianity and discussing that, and so he gave me a beautiful hardback copy of this, and very pleased to have this, very excited to have this. I do appreciate Lewis. He's not one of my favorite authors of all time, but I do appreciate him and I do like his stories, and it was good to have this one as well. So yeah. And then I mentioned that I had an author interview with J.R. Carroll, and during that I asked him to recommend me a book, and the one that he recommended was Richard Kadri's The Grand Dark. This I don't know a whole lot about this. It some sort of, let's see if I can see anything about it real quick. I don't remember. Oh, I can't find the information that I was looking for, but it was whatever his pitch was for it. It was like, that sounds excellent. It was kind of like a steampunk futuristic dystopian novel or something like that, and it sounded good to me. He sold me on it pretty good in that interview, and yeah, I definitely want to get to this. But I looked on Amazon and it was $3 at the time of when I purchased those, so I was like, okay, definitely have to buy it now because it's super cheap. And very excited to go through this. I have no idea when I'll get to it. The one thing that I'm not so sure I love is the texture on the dust jacket. It feels kind of weird in the hand, and I'm not sure I love that. Thankfully, I can remove the dust jacket when I go to read it, so that's nice. But yeah, Grand Dark as well. I received I got a couple more for Christmas, and I will save those for a second here, but I'm going to go to some other ones real quick. My brother gave me a whole bunch of Star Wars and Louis L'Amour books that he was just removing off of his shelves type thing, and of course, me being me, I said yes, I would like them, and so I want to go through those real quickly. I have a fair number of them, so we'll go through these as quickly as possible. The first one I have is The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader. This is just a Star Wars novel following Darth Vader's story, kind of from his perspective and stuff like that. I don't remember if I've read this one or just the life and legacy of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is like the companion to this one about Obi-Wan instead. Both, if I did read this one as well, it was good, but I know for a fact the Obi-Wan one was excellent. And so yes, I'm very excited to have this and go through it again at some point, because I do need to go through it again, and I did really enjoy it. The Last Command, volume 3 of a 3-book cycle. I don't know what the rest of this is, but this is a Timothy Zahn book, so I assume it's probably part of his Thrawn series, or the second half of his Thrawn series or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I do want to read this. It says the Embattled Republic reels from the attacks of Grand Admiral Thrawn, so I assume it has something to do with Thrawn still. I want to get to the Thrawn books by Timothy Zahn, and I think I have them all now, and so that's good news, and I can slowly start working my way through them. Old Republic Revan by Drew Karpyshyn, something like that. Revan is, I'm familiar with the character because I know Star Wars pretty well, but I've never successfully played through the KOTOR or SWTOR games or anything like that, Knights of the Old Republic or Star Wars the Old Republic or anything. I've never successfully played all the way through them, and so I don't know the character from firsthand experience. I just have read a fair amount about the character because I am a Star Wars nerd and I do that sort of thing. But I do want to read Revan, and I'm excited to have that one as well. Star Wars The Adventure continues as Return of the Jedi ends, an exciting new saga begins. The Truce at Bakura by Kathy Tyers. It's just another Star Wars novel here. I don't know a whole lot about this one. It's clearly set after the end of Return of the Jedi, and so yeah, we'll see what takes place. Of course, all of these are the Legends novels now. They're considered Legends since Disney bought the canon and said, nope, these ones aren't canon anymore. It's fine, whatever. I still want to read them because I've heard they're good books. Choices of One by Timothy Zahn. This is another book that, well, I mean, it's got Mara Jade in it, and so that's exciting. I haven't read any of the books about Mara Jade. Again, another character that I know from just knowing Star Wars, but I don't really know the character that well or have actually seen the character in action. And so I'm excited to go through and be able to see some of these characters and see some of these stories and the lives of these characters that I know so much about and yet know nothing about. Darth Plagueis by James Luceno. This is one that I've heard very good things about. I've heard that this is an excellent book, slow, political, but excellent. And so I'm very intrigued by it. I love Darth Plagueis. I love the whole, I guess if you want to say, mythology of Darth Plagueis and how it all ties into everything and how it influences the rest of the Star Wars stories. So very excited to have this one. I haven't read it yet, but I do want to. That's one stack. Let's keep going. I've got Volume 1, Heir to the Empire. This is Timothy Zahn. So this is, I believe, the first book in the Thrawn trilogy, in his original Thrawn trilogy, or the Heir to the Empire series. Very excited to have these ones and to finally be able to go through them. I've heard nothing but excellent things about them. Darth Bane, Path of Destruction. I have really wanted to read the Darth Bane novels as well, and I've been told that they're some of the best Star Wars novels, and so I want to get to them for sure. I don't know when I will. I don't even know if this is the first book or the second book or the third book in the series. I could probably look. I don't have time to figure it out, but I do want to go through the Darth Bane books. Very excited to have this one and be able to slowly start working my way through them. Then I have Dark Force Rising by Timothy Zahn. I believe this is the second book in the, what's it called? The Heir to the Empire, or the Thrawn trilogy. So definitely want to get to these as well. And I suspect probably I already showed book 3 in the series because this is volume 2. Then I have Dark Apprentice by Kevin J. Anderson. I believe, read a little bit of Kevin J. Anderson in the past, but nothing Star Wars, and so I want to get to these as well. I'm not sure that that's true. I may have read some Kevin J. Anderson Star Wars a long time ago back as a kid, but I don't remember, and I do want to continue reading the Star Wars books, so I'm excited to have this. This is volume 2 of the Jedi Academy trilogy. Volume 1 of the Jedi Academy trilogy is Jedi Search by Kevin J. Anderson, and I have that one as well now too. Children of the Jedi by Barbara Hambly. Hey, I recognize that name. I believe she's written some Forgotten Realms stuff. Is that who done it? I don't know. But Barbara Hambly, I recognize that name now for sure. Children of the Jedi, I have this one. I want to read it. I want to read all of them. I don't know what else to say. The Courtship of Princess Leia by Dave Wolverton. This is one that I'm very excited about. I didn't realize that this was here, but this is by Dave Wolverton, or David Farland as he was known in the fantasy community. I'm very, very excited to read this because I love his books. I loved his Runelord saga, and I've read one Star Wars book by him that I can't remember the title of, but it was the Jedi Apprentice Book 1, I believe is what it is. And so yeah, it's about young Obi-Wan as an apprentice, and very excited to have another book by him, and I've heard good things about this one as well. Then the last, I believe this is the last Star Wars book, and this is volume 3 of the Jedi Academy trilogy, Champions of the Force by Kevin J. Anderson. And so I have the 3 books in the Jedi Academy, I have the 3 books in the Thrawn trilogy, and maybe some other ones, so very excited to have all these books and to be able to go through them. One last stack, and these are all Louis L'Amour books, and I'm excited to have all of these as well because I do love Louis L'Amour. To the best of my knowledge, I don't own any of these, but I might be wrong. No, that's not true. To the best of my knowledge, I only own one of these already, and that's alright, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So the first one I have is The Warrior's Path, which is book 15 of the Sackets. A long time ago I started reading through the Sackett series, and I loved the books that I was reading, and I got stuck because we didn't have the next book in the series, and so I didn't want to just skip one or anything like that, because I was reading through them in order, and so chronological order, I guess, is what that would be. So I'm glad to have more books in the series. I don't know if I have The Warrior's Path or not. I might on my shelf, but that's alright. Whether I do or not, I'm okay having a couple different editions of some of these books. Then I have Lonesome Gods by Louis L'Amour. This is one that I have heard is one of his absolute best books, and so very excited to have this one. I need to read it. I would like to get to it soon, this year if possible, because I read, you know what, I'll get there in a second. But yeah, Lonesome Gods, excellent. I'm very excited to have this one. Here it is, The Walking Drum. This is my favorite book of, you know what, I'm just going to spoil it. This is my favorite book of 2026. I don't know when this video is coming up in comparison to the rest of my videos that I am putting up this end of the year wrap-up videos type stuff. But The Walking Drum is one of the books that I read this year in 2025, and it was my favorite book of the year. And my family owned a copy of the book, but I did not, and so I'm very glad to have this now. Then I have Matagorda by Louis L'Amour. This is one, I don't remember if I read this one or not. I may have borrowed this from my brother at one point and read it, or I may have borrowed it and not read it and gave it back, or I'm not sure, I don't remember. But whatever the case, I have it now. I want to go through it. I want to read it. I definitely don't remember it if I did read it. Jubal Sackett by Louis L'Amour. This is one of the books in the Sackett series. This is like number 4 or something like that in the series. I have already read this. This was one of my favorite Louis L'Amour books. Definitely my favorite Sackett book that I'd read up to the point. I physically own this one already. However, because it's my favorite book, I don't have any problem having a couple different editions of it. I think that's kind of fun. I do that with Lord of the Rings. I've got several different Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit books. And so I'm okay with having a couple different editions of some of these other books that I really love. Plus, this way I can give one away if I ever need to or want to or anything like that. To the Far Blue Mountains. This is the second book in the Sackett series. I don't believe I own this one. I believe my family does, my dad does, but I do not. So I'm glad to have this one as well. And then the last book is The Tall Stranger. I have not read this one. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't talk today very well. I have not read this one, but I want to. I would like to continue going through all the Louis L'Amour books. I have a whole bunch of them on my shelves, and even more now. And so yeah, excellent. Very excited to have all these, and I want to get through them. All right, so those are the books that I have received from my brother. Let's go into the books that I received as Christmas gifts. This first one was a Secret Santa participated in on the Discord on Dominish Books' Discord. And so I got this one, and that is Bradley P. Beaulieu's, I'm not sure, The 12 Kings and Shara Kai, which is the first book in the Songs of the Shattered Sand series. I've heard excellent things about this. I really want to get to this. It's unfortunately it's low priority in the sense that it wasn't sent to me by the author, and I have a whole bunch of other books that were sent to me by authors that I need to get through physically, but I really want to read this very, very bad, and so it might get bumped up even though I probably shouldn't. Just a couple more. This one's going to Thrill Tori. I received The Princess Bride, the illustrated edition of The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I love this book. I love the movie. I love the book. I don't physically own a copy of the book, and this is a beautiful illustrated edition. Very excited to have this. Very happy, and I do want to go through and reread it at some point fairly soon if I can. I love this when I read it the first time. I've loved the movie my whole life. It's one of the best movies ever made. And so yeah, I'm very excited to own this. And then the last one I received is more like a devotional book, and that is On Spiritual Warfare by Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman and Sergeant Chris Pascoe. I have been hearing about a book very similar, it's like a companion, like the first book that was written type thing on spiritual combat. And I've heard some good things about that one, and I heard this one, so I received this one as a gift, and I'm excited to go through it and see what's in here for me. It's more of a devotional, not a novel or anything like that. And so it's not one that I'll be reviewing at any point on the channel, but it is one that I'm excited to have. And it is a book, so I wanted to mention it in my book haul. So hopping in real quick here, because I received another book before the book haul went up, and I just wanted to mention it because I'm super excited about it. But anyways, that is The Boy Who Became a Jackrabbit, A Tale of a Young Carrier of Civilization by Charles Stanford. And this is one that my friend Liam has talked about quite a bit, and I'm just very intrigued by it. I think that it sounds fascinating, and think it's gonna be something that I really like, and he was kind enough to send it to me. So I'm very excited to get into this one and read through it. And I'm probably going to prioritize it pretty soon. Plus, it's very short and big words, so it won't take me long at all to go through this, and I'm very excited to get to it when I do. Real quickly, 113 words with the about the author. So, or pages, not words, 113 pages. So it won't take me long at all to go through this. Probably, if I had time, probably 4 hours or so to get, or less, maybe even than that. But anyways, I'm very excited about this, and I just wanted to mention it in this video because I did receive this one as well. All right, so I'm going to do another insert here with another group of books that I got, because I haven't edited this book haul yet, and so I want to go through and mention these books as well, so that I don't have them waiting for my next book haul, whenever that is, sometime who knows how many months away. But yeah, I just wanted to mention them all so that it's a one and done video, and yeah, let's go through them. So first off, I will mention really quick, my local used bookstore was having another 50% off sale, and so I went in there for the books that are normally like $2 and got them for like $1 or something like that. Some of them are a little bit more expensive than that, but oftentimes they're around $2 or very cheap as it is. And so I went in there to find them and spent $19.50 and got like 10 books, something like that. So I did pretty good, and anyways, let's go through them. I found another book in the Rune Lord series by David Farland. This is Worldbinder, which is book 6, and again, a first edition hardback cover, and just like the other 4 that I have. And so I'm trying to find all 8 of the books in the hardback covers like this, and so this is another one, and so I saw it and I was like, absolutely, I've got to take that. It was wonderful. I love this series. Very glad to have this book, but I feel good about buying this book because I've already read it. Honestly, I feel good about buying all of them because they're books that either I'm intrigued by, interested in for some reason, I've already read them, I'm going to read them soon, whatever it might be. The next one that I'm going to mention, though, is Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces. This is this book that I have wanted to read for a very long time, but especially this past year as I've been studying storytelling, more specifically, and the construction of story and how that works. So I've been really interested to read Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces, and I haven't done so yet, but I really want to. I might try and get an audiobook because then I'll more likely get to it sooner, but it's either way, I'm very glad to have it for my shelves because it's something that I will undoubtedly reference at other points in time, even if I do just listen to the audiobook. So very glad to have this one as well. I have not yet read this book, and I also don't have the preceding 3 books in the series, but this is The Wicked Day by Mary Stewart, which is part of her Arthurian saga. I have been reading and loving this series, and I've read the first 2 books in the series so far. I need to get to book 3, and I just haven't done so yet. I need to write my review of book 2 so I can listen to book 3, and then I can write my review of book 3 and listen to book 4, or read book 4 now that I have it physically. But I want to have all of them, and I saw the nice trade paperback copy here, and for $4 with half off is $2, and so I was like, okay, let's do that. I'm not going to lose this opportunity to pick it up. Plus I can add it to my Arthurian shelf, and I love Arthurian literature, and I like having these books. So anyways, very good for me. I'm very happy with this buy as well. I'm very happy with all the buys. I need to just stop saying that. I don't know a whole lot about this book, but I found The Forge of Virtue by Lynn Abbey. I've heard people on BookTube talk about this, or not necessarily this book, I don't remember, but I know that I've heard people talk about Lynn Abbey and her influence on the fantasy genre for sure and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, let's see this. It's, again, they're cheap. I can afford that. I don't have the space for them, but I can afford the books themselves, so I'm gonna buy them when I see them. And I was intrigued by it. I don't know a whole lot about this, but it sounds like possibly, I don't think it's Arthurian, but I don't know. But whatever the case is, I am interested in trying out Lynn Abbey at some point, and I found this book, and so I was like, okay, let's pick up that one. Another one that I'm not entirely sure is Arthurian, but it kind of feels like maybe it might be or kind of Arthurian adjacent to some degree, and that is The King of Is, Roma Mater, which is by Paul, I don't know, and Karen Anderson. He's most known for his Broken Sword, I believe, is the book that he is that's very popular of his. I've been wanting to read him, but I saw this one and it sounded kind of like might be Arthurian adjacent to some degree. I'm trying to remove the sticker because it's saying something here. Before there was in England, before there wasn't England, there was Roma Mater. Before King Arthur, the King of Is. And so it sounds like it might be Arthurian adjacent. The back of the book also mentions some things, as with Marion Zimmer Bradley's The Mists of Avalon and Mary Stewart's The Crystal Cave, works with which all 4 volumes of The King of Is will inevitably be compared. Roma Mater transpires in the wild and eldritch time between the fall of Rome and the rise of our own age. So it definitely sounds like it may be somewhat Arthurian adjacent or something like that, and they're putting it in the same category as Mary Stewart's Arthurian saga, as well as Marion Zimmer Bradley's Mists of Avalon, which I haven't read, and I haven't decided if I'm going to, but I'm definitely interested in it. It would intrigue me for sure, and I'm very curious to see what Paul Anderson and apparently Karen Anderson can do as well. Then I found the three Theban plays by Sophocles. This, I don't know anything about them, but I'm interested in reading the plays. I'm interested in reading more plays and also performing in plays. I like acting. So it caught my eye and caught my attention. I was like, okay, let's pick that one up and see what I think of it. I don't know when I'll read it. The last time I read a play that wasn't one that I was in was actually Cyrano de Bergerac. I can't remember the author at the moment, but I read Cyrano de Bergerac several years back. Really enjoyed it. I'd watched the movie, an adaptation of the movie, or of a movie adaptation a while back before that, and so was interested. But I also just want to read more plays. I really need to get to some Shakespeare this year. Definitely planning on reading Pericles this year, and we'll see what else I can read or try and fit in. But those are some of the ones that I definitely want to. Yeah, but this was interested me enough to decide to pick it up. I didn't have much in the way of good reasons for picking these 2 up, other than that I have some of the other books in the series. I don't care for the cover on one of these, and I'll explain that in a second here, but I picked up 2 books by Fritz Lieber, Swords in the Mist, which is the 3rd book in Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, and then The Knight and Knave of Swords, which is the triumphant return of Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser. So I don't even know what books those are, but I got 2 little paperback copies. I do have 2 or 3 other books in the series in the same edition as this one is, and so I just picked it up kind of to complete the series at that point. This other one though, Knight and the Knave of Swords, I am not terribly happy with the cover. It actually appears like there's some of the book that is missing or has been torn out or something like that. I don't know, but I do know that this cover is kind of weird. I don't know how much that shows up, but it's definitely not something that I particularly love, but because it was in the series, I just decided to pick it up and it was cheap again. So that's why I got those 2. I'm curious to read these books. I know that Liam really has enjoyed them, and I'm curious if I would be the same or if not. And I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me which way I go with them. I'm just interested in them, and having them all together, having some sort of a set of them, is not a bad idea for me. And then the last 3 that I got were Queen of Sorcery by David Eddings. This is book 2 of the Belgariad. Castle of Wizardry, which is book 4 of the Belgariad by David Eddings. And then book 5 of the Belgariad, Enchanter's Endgame, again by David Eddings. So I got 3 of the books in the Belgariad series. I've read this one so far, so that one's an easy buy. These other 2 I'm going to read. I'm definitely planning on it, and so they're easy buys for me, not worried about them in the slightest. The other books in the series 1 and 3 at least weren't there. I don't remember if there's a 6th book in this series or not. I don't remember how many books are in the series. I believe it's 6, but it might be more than that. Whatever the case, I'm glad to have these. I definitely will be on the lookout for the other books in the series that I don't have, which is 1 and 3 at least that I know of, and maybe more. But definitely want to find the rest of the books in the series, but also glad to have these 3 that I already do have. So I will just close that here, and I believe I have an outro from the first time I filmed one of these videos, or one of these portions, so I'll let that go back to that. And here's another entry into this. I have got some more books to include, and so yeah, let's go through these. Some of these are ones that I was just buying to fill out my shelves, and some of them as in I have parts of the series and I wanted to complete the series type things, and then some of them are ones I just went to the bookstore and was looking for specific things, but I didn't find them. But I found these other things that I also was interested in having, and so I bought them instead. But yeah, let's go through these real quick. First one I have is The Rising Storm by T.W. Anderson. This is book 1 of The Weave and the Void. I've talked quite a bit with Anderson. He has a channel, and his Renfail is his channel name, and he's a cool guy. I enjoy talking to him, and I've enjoyed the discussions that we've had and stuff like that, and I wanted to see what he could do as a writer. I'm very interested in that, and I believe Liam has also read this and really enjoyed it, and so I'm very interested in seeing what it was. Wanted to support him, so I finally just went and purchased the book myself. So yeah, I'm excited to get to that whenever I can get to it. These next two are one I have read, one I have not read, but they're both kind of part of the same series, and so I own the rest of the series, so I wanted to own the entirety of the series. And the first one is Within the Sanctuary of Wings by Marie Brennan. This is the 5th book in the Lady Trent memoir series. This is the last book in the series, except for this other one, which is Turning Darkness into Light also by Marie Brennan. This is like a sequel standalone type thing. I've not yet read this one, but I do really want to, and I have read the entirety of the Lady Trent memoirs series, other than this one sequel book, and so I'm excited to have all of them on my shelves now. Those are those ones that I bought for myself. I actually have several others that are on the way, and they're just not, I doubt they'll arrive before this video goes up, because as of the time that I'm filming this update, it's March 8th, and I believe this video is going up on the, the 12th of this month? Thursday, whatever this Thursday is. So anyways, I don't think I'll have any more entries to do for this video, just because I don't think I'll have any more, and I don't think I'll have time to edit them into the video, even if I did get some more books in before then. So let's continue with these other ones. So I went back to the used bookstore. I was looking for the rest of the hardcovers of Rune Lords that I don't already own, because I would like to have that series completed, and I was also looking for any more copies of Belgariad by David Eddings I was looking for. I was also looking for Arthurian Saga by Mary Stewart, and I didn't find any of either of those, and I was also looking for the other books in the Pendragon cycle that I don't own, and I didn't find that one either. And so I kind of wasn't really expecting to find any of those, but I was hoping to, and I didn't, but I found some other ones instead, and so let's go through those. I found Endymion by Dan Simmons. I don't remember which ones all I have. I know I have at least the first book, which is Hyperion. I know I have at least Hyperion. I might have another book in his Hyperion Cantos series. And so I wanted to get this one, and I do want to own these and read these books sometime at some point, and I just haven't gotten to the chance to yet. The next one I got is The Merlin Effect by T.A. Barron. This is one that I really didn't know anything about, but I saw Merlin and I was like, okay, I need to buy this because it's Arthuriana, and I have a whole Arthuriana shelf, and I want to read all the books. And this, from what I understand, this is like it's not modern, and because it's fairly old at this point. When was this published? Fairly old. First edition was published in 1994, so it's not terribly old, but it's not a new book or anything like that, but it's more like a modern setting from what I understand, about a character who encounters a magical drinking horn from Arthurian times, which, as legend would have it, led to the demise of the great wizard Merlin. So clearly some Arthurian tie-ins there, and I'm very intrigued by what this is going to be about, and how this story is going to be Arthuriana, and I love King Arthur books, and so I wanted another one. Then I found Midnight Falcon, a novel of the Regante by David Gemmell. I have several Gemmells on my shelves at this point, or in the piles because they don't fit on my shelves at this point, and I believe I have some of the Regante books. I don't know which ones I have or how many even there are. Can I find that? Regante has Sword in the Storm, Midnight Falcon, Ravenheart, and Stormrider. So I have Sword in the Storm, and I might have Stormrider, which means I've got at least the first 2 books now with Midnight Falcon, because this appears to be the second book. So I'm excited to have these ones. I don't know when I'll get to go through all these Gemmell books that I have, but I'm very glad that I have them, because the 2 that I have read were fantastic. I really enjoyed those, and I would like to have those on my shelves, especially since they're Arthuriana as well. Oh, and apparently I was wrong when I said that I didn't find any in the Belgariad series, because I did find Belgarath the Sorcerer, which I believe is book 6 in the Belgariad by David and Lee Eddings. So I'm glad to have this one. I really don't know how this relates in publication timeline to the other books in the series, but seeing as it's written by David and Lee Eddings rather than just David, I assume probably it was sometime afterwards and that he went back to the series and finished and wrote this other book. So excited to have this one, excited to continue my read through the Belgariad series. And then the last one that I have is The Spirit of the Border by Zane Grey. I've only read 2 Zane Greys. I've got several more on my shelves. I was supposed to read one in quarter 3. I doubt that's gonna happen at this point, but we will still see, and hopefully I have time to get to it. But or quarter 1, not quarter 3. But still, I like Zane Grey. The 2 that I've read, I've really loved, and so I want to continue reading more. And so every time I find another one in good condition, I pick it up. And so got this one, and I'm glad to have this one as well. So now I will send you back to the original video that has the outro and everything. All right, so those are the books that I've received since whenever the last book haul that I did was. It's a decent stack. Now I have to find room on my shelves, and I'm not going to find room on my shelves. I don't have room on my shelves. However, I am planning to build a bookcase finally this year, and hopefully that will help with some of the space issues I am having. Anyways, thank you guys for watching an Erudite Adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday and have our social medias linked in the description down below. We will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.